The Dalai Lama apologized for instructing a young boy to suck my tongue in a video that went viral a few days ago. He kissed the boy on his lips and then proceeded with the suck my tongue request. The Dalai Lama was reportedly at an event in Dharamshala, India at the time. The suck my tongue statement shocked the collective conscience and led to outrage in the US, other parts of the world, and on social media. Despite making a public apology, people are still very upset over the Dalai Lama's conduct. The question is why? Why? He's made a mistake and he apologized, says his supporters. But critics aren't backing down. They insist that the Dalai Lama is evil. Some called it his conduct predatorial behavior, while others labeled him a pedophile. Are people overreacting, or should he be held accountable for his behavior? Opinions are divided in a clash of culture and protection of the rights of children. Welcome to True Lies Scandals. Stay tuned to find out what's causing the outrage to persist, including what rapper Cardi B had to say. Coming up after this. Have you subscribed to this new but growing channel as yet? Become one of the first 1,000 subscribers. Don't miss out on thought-provoking and candid opinions on matters of local and global concern. The subscribe button is at the bottom right of your screen. Also, click the bell icon once you've subscribed to get instant updates as soon as I post a new video. One last favor, please share the channel link with all of your peoples. I appreciate your support here on Twitter and on Facebook. Now back to the issue at hand. Who is the Dalai Lama, and how did he recently spark public indignation? The Dalai Lama, His Holiness the 14th, is a world-renowned spiritual leader, Buddhist monk, and the 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet. The 87-year-old who lives in Tibet in permanent exile is the principal spiritual leader of the Yellow Hat school of Tibetan Buddhism. Not only is he a Buddhist, but also the world's longest living Dalai Lama, as well as a Nobel Peace Prize winner. This is the most interesting part. According to his official website, DalaiLama.com, the leader, and I quote, advocates the cultivation of warm-heartedness and human values such as compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, contentment, and self-discipline. All that to his name, and he's acting contrary to what he advocates for. What in the world? Yes, I'm being judgy. Where was his self-discipline when he wanted to get his tongue sucked by a child? And where was this compassion for humans he supposedly advocates for? Here's how this whole story started. The young boy seen in the photo reportedly approached the spiritual leader and asked him, "Can I hug you?" The leader invited the little lad on stage and pointed to his own cheek before saying, "First here," signaling to the boy where to kiss him while hugging him. That wasn't enough. The Dalai Lama then pointed to his lips and said, "Then I think finally here also." Without further hesitation, he pulled the boy's chin and kissed him on the mouth. What the Nobel Peace Prize winner did next was what critics find most disturbing. He told the boy, and I quote, "and suck my tongue," while sticking his tongue out. Oh, I want to use some expletives, but all I will say is WTF, followed by 10 exclamation marks. I find this very egregious and unsettling, period, especially since it's coming from a man who is revered across the world as a spiritual leader and Buddhist. But that doesn't mean whatever he says and does is gospel. To me, that was not an act of kindness, humanity, or respect for this little boy. The Dalai Lama's recent action begs the question: how many other kids did he ask to suck his tongue? Let's be real, and that's why some section of society continues to feel furious over the incident. The office of the Dalai Lama issued a statement on Monday following a public outcry and condemnation of the leader's action, which occurred in February last. The statement said he regrets what happened and, quote unquote, wishes to apologize to the boy and his family as well as his many friends across the world for the hurt his words may have caused. May have caused? The statement went on to say, His Holiness often teases people he meets in an innocent and playful way, even in public and before cameras. All right. Apologizing for the hurt his words may have caused. Why does this sound like a non-apology? This is a half apology, if anything at all. And saying that this is how the Dalai Lama acts in public, it's a normal behavior of his, comes across to me as a justification for what he has done. I don't think the Dalai Lama is or has taken full accountability for his action and issued a proper and unequivocal apology to this little boy and his family and the rest of the world. On the other side of the fence, the apology isn't enough for those who apparently also want to see the 87-year-old spiritual leader get hung by the balls and crucified on a cross. All right, I exaggerated a bit. But here, what is so wrong with what the Dalai Lama did? To me, it boils down to a conflict of culture, norms, and traditions versus the rights of the child seen through the eyes of Westerners in particular. Supporters of the Buddhist monk came to his defense, saying his conduct is a form of cultural expression, according to the Institute of East Asian Studies at the University of California, Berkeley. Sticking out one's tongue is often used as a greeting in traditional Tibetan culture and is considered a sign of respect or agreement. Okay, but is asking someone, and not just someone, a child, to suck your tongue a sign of respect and a cultural norm in Tibet? If so, for argument's sake, why is this culture still existing in today's far more evolved and civil society where there are so many rights for children to protect them from child abuse, maltreatment, human trafficking, pedophilia, you name it? Why is this cultural expression still something that exists? Despite the justification of the Dalai Lama's act as being a form of cultural expression, a wide section of Western society especially sees the leader's action as child maltreatment and child abuse. Rapper Cardi B in particular was candid about her feelings about what went on. The singer wrote on Twitter saying this: "This world is full of predators. They prey on the innocent. The ones who are most unknowing, our children. Predators could be our neighbors, our school teachers, even people with money, power, and our churches. Constantly talk with your kids about boundaries and what they shouldn't allow people to do to them." I find this to be a very profound statement by Cardi B, I must say. The World Health Organization defines child maltreatment as, and I quote, "the abuse and neglect that occurs to children under 18 years of age, It includes all types of physical and or emotional ill treatment, sexual abuse, neglect, negligence, and commercial or other exploitation, which results in actual or potential harm to the child's health, survival, development, or dignity in the context of a relationship of responsibility, trust, or power. I've got more questions than answers at the moment. Is what the Buddha did child abuse or maltreatment? And does the WHO definition apply to all cultures across the world? Here's my opinion about what happened. Being in a position of power as a spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama abused his position of power and committed what may constitute child abuse when he asked the young boy to suck my tongue. To me, he went beyond the bounds of cultural expression and violated this young boy's boundaries and human right to be inviolable as a person. I can only wonder how the little lad felt. All he wanted was a hug from a man many admire. Did he leave feeling cringy, hurt, sad, guilty, or regretful for asking to meet the Dalai Lama in the first place? Did he leave feeling violated, ashamed of himself, or betrayed by the Tibetan monk? I wonder about the little boy as if he were my own son. Do you have a child? How would you feel if that were your son? Not surprisingly, many advocates came to the defense of the 87-year-old leader. I'm sorry, I teared up a bit there. It's emotional for me because I believe strongly that children should be protected at all costs, and there should be no culture or no law in place that takes away that right of the child to be protected in all environments from all people. Namdal Hagyari, a Tibetan activist in exile who tweeted in support of the Dalai Lama, said this, and I quote, "Expression of emotions and manners today has been melted together and become vividly westernized, bringing in narrative of other cultures, customs, and social influence on gender and sexuality to interpret Tibetan way of expression is heinous." He continued, "It is intriguing and heavily disturbing for me individually on how this issue has been used as a political weapon and scandalized to suit various sections of the world." He concluded by saying this, "With due respect, I don't see the need for an apology," meaning an apology by the Dalai Lama. In other words, he believes, like many others, that the Dalai Lama should not have apologized for his conduct. Perspective is definitely different based on which part of the world you live. The members of society with its own cultural norms and traditions want to carry on with their lives the way they do without facing backlash from outsiders who come to play righteous and condemn their cultural expressions. Against that argument should Westerners and do-gooders and protectors of rights, peace, and justice like myself simply shut the hell up. They say you Americans like to play righteous and throw stones at glass houses when you live in a huge glass house, don't they? The amount of pedophile rings in the United States, not to mention top officials allegedly involved in pedophilia and trafficking of kids and teenagers. Remember Jeffrey Epstein? The public is still calling for Epstein's blacklist to be published so we could finally see all those politicians, presidents, former presidents, big-time officials, and celebrities who allegedly visited Epstein's island, where young women were being trafficked and sexually abused. Okay, I won't go there today, but if you have time, do check out my video on Miss Virginia Giuffre, a woman who was allegedly trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein to Prince Andrew as a teen. See the link above to your right. Also, Do send me your views on the Dalai Lama's action in the comment section or email me your thoughts. I did digress a bit. Forgive me. I did get emotional a bit. I'm not going to apologize for that. But let's continue. CNN reported that a prominent Delhi-based child rights group, HAC, Center for Child Rights, responded to the incident. In a statement to CNN, HAC says it condemns, and I quote, it condemns all forms of abuse, and added that some news refers to Tibetan culture about showing tongue, but this video is certainly not about any cultural expression, and even if it is, such cultural expressions are not acceptable. Look, I am not siding with the Dalai Lama, culture or no culture. I just think his behavior is abhorrent, despicable, and wholly unacceptable. And I will continue to worry how this little boy felt at the moment and how he feels today. But you may see it differently. If so, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. See you next time on True Lies Scandals.